It's a little bit like being an art connoisseur, somebody who really appreciates good art and antiques. You can look at a vase, you know, that is cracked or imperfect. An art connoisseur doesn't zero in on that and say, well, that vase is no good because it's got a crack in it. No, he or she will appreciate the beauty of the whole thing. In fact, you know, some cultures emphasize the cracks. The Japanese, they will paint the cracks so that you really can see them. It becomes beautiful, you know. And we can do that with people. We can look and, you know, I mean, I do that in class. We all have things that if we zero in on them, become sort of, oh, oh, he's got this problem, she's got that problem, why is she like that, who is this? But if we just kind of look through that, we see that beautiful unity and the wholeness and the infinity at the core of the person. And if we relate to people like that, then that is going to grow. Whatever we see is going to grow. As we're feeding it with our attention. So if you have children, this is an important thing, you know. If you look at your children as big problems, they're going to become big problems. I don't mean that they will be perfect no matter what you do, but you can do some good things by how you look at them. And the Bhagavad Gita also says that bhakti, which is an Indian word for love basically, is the fundamental quality that helps us to bridge the gap between the individual and the infinite. So we have to love it. We have to love this feeling inside that we can get in touch with that deeper part of ourselves, that it exists, you know. It's a kind of yearning that we can identify with. And if it doesn't come out naturally in us, we have to work to try to cultivate it, dig it out of ourselves, you know. And it's a million reasons to let that light go out, be covered up. There's only one reason to want it to be there, and that is that you want it to be there. Yeah. To stay with that, you know. This is the test, that when you start to practice and you identify that and say, oh, this is wonderful, but then you have to fit in with all these societal expectations. Well, you don't have to be like the rest of society. God forbid. I mean, I don't want to be like most of what I see in the world. I really don't. Because there's so much ego, there's so much craziness, there's so much unnecessary conflict, really. So the best we can do is identify with that deeper part of ourselves as best we can and cultivate that and allow that to grow. And it will invite, you know, I'm grateful that you guys come and share this with me here in Denmark. And I have some people elsewhere who do that. I mean, the whole idea of being an old-fashioned guru, you know, is for me finished. I mean, I had that thought when I first started to teach, you know, oh, I got to really be somebody. But forget it. I mean, this, whatever happens naturally is fine. And if I can help somebody with what I'm doing, that's fine. But to worry about, you know, how many people are coming and what's happening and all that, this just wears you out. Yeah. It becomes a spiritual arrogance, you know. So just consciously letting go of all that and just enjoying being as long as we can and as deeply as we can together. And also the Bhagavad Gita mentions, you know, that when you die, if you have this awareness when you die, you will go to God. You will become one with that deeper reality that you are. If you're thinking about, oh, I want to do this, I want to have that, I want this, that. Well, that's what you become. And in the Indian way of thinking, you get reborn so that you get to do that. You know? The question is, how many times do you want to be reborn? How many times does it need to, how many lessons do you need, you know, to realize fully that I am really this deeper state? And I think your Danish philosopher and practitioner of Buddhism, you know, Jes Bertelsen, he describes that very beautifully. That when you really become immersed in this deeper state over enough years of practice, then as you go into death, you take that with you. Yeah. Then you have that, at the very least, you have a gentler way of going into death. And it's a better death, on some level or other. And if you really become free, then you, and this was Rudy's big thing, he didn't want to be reborn. He was finished, I'm done.
I'm done.
I just want to be, and I think he managed that. I really do, but who knows, you know, but he was very set on that. Well, I should say also, you know, that the end of the Bhagavad Gita describes this deeper state of being that frees you. And it does have to do with really loving God. I mean, this sounds trite in the West, because we are so used to thinking of God as this guy who's sitting up in the sky somewhere. Yeah. But worship the deeper part of yourself. Yeah. Worship the infinity, you know, and be one with that. Then it doesn't matter so much what's happening in your life. Because whatever it is, either gives you natural upliftment or gives you good lessons that you need to learn. So in either case, you are a winner, you know. And it's really a win-win. Make a no-win situation into a win-win situation. That's what the practice should do for us.